My name is Amanda. I am 23 years old, and after high school, I decided not to go to college and went to work in a beauty salon as a hairdresser. I didn't know what my vocation in life was, so I decided not to rush and give myself time to think for a year or two, and at the same time make some money. I met Samantha at work. She is a little older than me, 2 years, and we became very good friends. We even rented an apartment together. It was cheaper for the two of us. Everything went on as usual. We lived amicably from time to time. She had a boyfriend, or me, but the relationship usually ended quickly, and Samantha and I liked to sit together and discuss some moments in our affairs, gossip, drink, and always agree on a common ground. One day, a guy started stopping by our salon. He was a tall blonde guy in good shape, and with a great sense of humor. He always came in on my shift. We are not the most promoted salon, and the prices are below average, so I decided that he comes to us because the economic point of view. He benefits, and I do a haircut, in my opinion, 100% quality and cool. He was like that for about 3 months, and then one day he decided to talk to me. We had a very nice conversation, and I found out that he worked as some kind of a longshoreman in a warehouse, and in addition to his job, he was into books and cars. He didn't have his own car, but he dreamed very much about it and was saving up money to buy one as soon as possible. After our conversation, he got me very interested and I paid attention to him. He asked for my phone number and offered to meet me sometime when I had a day off. I was inspired by the situation and walked home in my thoughts and kept waiting for his call. At home, I told Samantha that he had decided to talk to me after all and gave her the details of what happened with me at work. I had to.
Really, he's talking. He's so handsome and took so long to talk. I can see why he only wants to talk to you. Looks like he's got a crush on you. The only bad thing is, it looks like he has no money. You're probably going to the park for a date.
Samantha, come on. Money is not the most important thing in life. I really like him. It looks like we have a chance to be together. I like it so much. I just can't wait to hear from him. I wonder if he's had a lot of girlfriends.
Money isn't the most important thing. Are you stupid? Everything in this world is bought with money? He's a good-looking guy, but I wouldn't fall for that, I guess. Huh?
Samantha, you are always in your repertoire. The next day on my day off, Oliver, that's his name, called me and offered to meet me as Samantha guest at the amusement park. This didn't upset me, but rather made me very happy because I hadn't been there in a long time and it was my favorite place from my childhood. I put on my weekend dress and makeup and was already looking forward to our date. Samantha was just giggling away, anticipating our first date.
Imagine you go out to buy tickets to an attraction and he only pays for himself. Or no, you're having a great time and he's like, you can put your half on my card at the end.
Stop being sarcastic. You're just jealous that he invited me and not you. That's all. Don't make this up.
I'm kidding. Come on. Ask him if he's got a friend who's as good looking as you, but he's a businessman?
Okay. Next time, maybe he'll invite his friend, and we could all go out together as a foursome. Then you'll realize that Oliver's a really nice and cool guy.
Okay, that's the way to go right away.
As evening came on, Oliver and I went on a few rides. He bought me cotton candy and ice cream, and we chatted nonstop the whole time. It turned out that he was a very smart guy, graduated with honors constantly worked on different projects at school, studied Chinese at home, played sports, and many other things. But everything did not go according to plan because his family is dysfunctional. His father was never in the family. His mother brought up alone, and they constantly lacked money, so he had to get a quick job to help his mother to pay debts. Despite all this, he is not discouraged and is saving up money to buy a car and be able to work part-time as a courier, and then open his own car repair business. He was very ambitious, but there were many challenges he needed to overcome to reach his goals. And I understood that it was a little silly to hope for a serious relationship with him, because he wasn't up to it right now. But I really wanted to be with him. I really liked him. After a while, we started seeing each other. But we didn't see each other much because he lived a bit far away from me and worked a lot. So I suggested that he move in with Samantha and me so we could spend more time together. Samantha wasn't happy about it, but what could I do? He would be able to chip in on the rent, and it would be much cheaper for her, since the apartment was 2 rooms and Oliver worked all the time. I had no trouble convincing Samantha that the 3 of us wouldn't be crowded in the same apartment. She got a little angry, but then she gave in. Oliver got along well with us, and we didn't have any problems in our apartment. Well, Samantha fought a couple of times because of household issues, but it all worked out quickly.
Oliver, could you please wash the dishes after yourself? We don't have a maid working here. You're a big boy now. It's time to start taking care of yourself. It's not hard at all.
Okay, Samantha. I hear you. I'll take action. You want some ice cream? I got you some too.
You think you can buy me off with ice cream so I don't scold you. Okay, you did a great job. Give me your ice cream. I like chocolate ice cream.
Oliver was always able to find a way out of any situation, and Samantha had an excuse to vent her emotions. That's how we got along. Samantha would get mad. Oliver would make a joke or give her a pep talk, and I would just smooth things over and try to support them both in different situations. We didn't have enough money, but I didn't complain because I knew what I was getting into. So Oliver and I have been working hard to be able to live separately from Samantha. But recently, I noticed a very strange thing. Before I did the laundry, I decided to look through the shelves of Oliver's clothes, and I found a very strange thing. I found a stack of money lying in the corner under things Oliver hardly ever wore. It was a strange find for me, because I knew where Oliver's money was set aside, and I knew how much was there, because he was showing me how much he had already saved to buy a car. It was 3 times that amount, and it was very impressive. I didn't understand why Oliver hadn't told me about this, because not long ago he had borrowed money from me to rent an apartment. I decided not to jump to conclusions and just talk about it in the evening when he got home from work. But the thoughts swirled around in my head, and I felt uncomfortable. He had never lied to me. I don't like lies and innuendo, and I think they're important relationship alarm bells when someone isn't being sincere. But I somehow got over my emotions and waited from Oliver's shift and was ready to talk things over with him calmly. Oliver, is there something you want to tell me?
Amanda, I don't like the way you're looking at me. Yeah, I ate your chocolate bar. What are you gonna do to me now?
Stop your jokes. I'm serious? Are you being honest with me?
What could have happened when I wasn't home for a couple of hours already?
Okay, you don't want to tell me. I'll tell you. I was going through my laundry today and I found something interesting. Maybe now you can guess what you mean.
Yeah, you're going through my stuff now. Well, I didn't expect that from you. How could you?
Stop being ironic. It's not funny. I found them by accident. Explain to me where you got this money and why I don't know anything about it.
Well, because, Amanda, it's not my money. And I didn't tell you about it because it was given to me yesterday to give to somebody else, and I had absolutely nothing to do with it. My friend asked me to give it to my boss. They had some kind of arrangement, and he didn't have time to give it to him. And today he is going to work, so he asked me to give it to him. I forgot all about it today, so you found it by chance. It's such a small thing that I didn't think of it at all to tell you. Is that all? Are you calm now? 'Cause you're looking at me like I cheated on you.
Okay. A little nervous. I've already got so much on my mind you can't imagine. I'm sorry I doubted you. I was wrong. We calmed down and ate dinner. We never brought the situation up again. You don't think I'm an alarmist. It's just a really weird situation. After a while, Samantha calls me while I'm at work and asks me where Oliver is. I, not understanding what's going on, calmly answer that he's at work, so where should he be? She says that she just saw him in a car in the parking lot near the mall, and it was not a cheap car. I didn't believe her, so she texted me a picture that clearly showed my Oliver next to an executive Mercedes. The picture was a little blurry, but I obviously couldn't help but recognize Oliver. And how to understand it at all. What he was doing in such a car. There was obviously something wrong here. I immediately called Oliver and asked him where he was. He said he was at work and very busy and couldn't talk to me. I got on with my work, trying not to get worked up or think of anything. At home, we had another conversation waiting for us. I talked to Oliver and even showed him the picture. He just laughed and said,
What do you think I'm a millionaire? You can see it's not me, especially the picture is blurry, so you got yourself wound up again. I'll be saving and saving for a car like that. And I don't know that I'm going to buy one.
I thought that maybe this guy really just looked like Oliver, and from a distance. It looked like Oliver. It's not like Oliver would have borrowed money from me if he had a car like that, and I didn't give it much thought. But Samantha wouldn't let up. Once we were alone with her, she was very active in convincing me that it really was Oliver, and that I shouldn't just let it go and believe this nonsense that she supposedly had him mixed up with someone else. I tried to change her mind, to let her know that I trusted my boyfriend and all kinds of coincidences happen in life. She was furious. Samantha started arguing with Oliver, trying to get him to admit that it was him. And she wasn't confused. But Oliver guffawed at her words, as usual, and they ended up fighting and not talking for a couple of days. So as not to ruin my relationship with my boyfriend at all, I decided not to stir up any more intrigue and arguments, and just trust what he said. I didn't care what Samantha said. Maybe she was just offended that I was spending less time with her, so she was trying to break us up. Girlfriends aren't always to be trusted and listened to. That much I know. Girls can be tricky, but Samantha was not going to let up. She suggested I ask Oliver to show me where he worked. Maybe he wasn't a longshoreman, she told me. Maybe he was a local mafioso. It was a joke, of course, but I never really thought about it. I really don't know where Oliver works. I never wondered about that. I figured, why not? I wondered about it myself. When Oliver came home, I decided to wait a while, and while we were talking, I would bring up the subject of his work and offer to show it to me. In my head, it looked coherent and casual. But Oliver was undeterred. He wouldn't accept the idea of me coming to his work just to see where he worked. He wouldn't listen to me, and he didn't want to listen to me at all. Then the atmosphere became tense, not casual, and he told me that I was too weird and suspicious of him in every way possible. He took a couple of his things and left. That's how our conversation about his work ended. I didn't see anything weird about it because I had him at work. So I'm not allowed to go to his work. Maybe there's something I don't know. Maybe he has a mistress in the bosses. Who knows why he was so sensitive? In general, I was offended at him and did not expect his return. Samantha also contributed to that. She told me that Oliver was cheating on me, and that I shouldn't go out with someone who was hiding something. The night passed, and in the morning, Oliver came to me with an apology. He made excuses for having a temper and going a little overboard with the accusations in my direction. He was really sorry for what had happened and remorseful. I forgave him, of course. I fell in love with Oliver. He became very close to me. I like having him around. And I don't care what happens between us anymore. The fights, the conflicts. I still want to be with him. I don't care what Samantha says. I'm going to decide how I'm going to be. If he's lying, then sooner or later, everything will come out anyway. And if he's not, then I'll be more comfortable with jumping to conclusions. But to my surprise, Oliver told me from the doorstep that he would take me to his work and quickly introduce me to everyone, show me what he was doing there, and then we'd go home so as not to distract anyone. I grabbed my purse and my keys, and Samantha's voice came from the kitchen.
I'll come with you. I'm also really curious about where Oliver works. Maybe I'll get a job as a longshoreman myself. Okay? I'm kidding. I have some free time. Can I come with you?
Of course you can, so that Amanda doesn't think she's imagining things.
About the car, you're not going to change my mind. I know I saw you. So let's see what you got in that warehouse. Maybe you take Amanda into the store, show her the merchandise, and she'll believe you.
Samantha, don't make a fool out of me. I know exactly what a warehouse is. We all drove to Oliver's work by cab, and there was a small warehouse with groceries, a pickup point, security, and other divisions of the warehouse. We walked up to security, and Oliver started talking to him in front of us.
Yo, Billy, how are you doing? How's the shift going? Is everything okay?
Yeah, man, it's quiet today. There's been no deliveries, so you could say we're resting. How about yourself?
Yeah, I brought a girl and her friend to show them my work because they're very interested. This is Samantha, and this is my girlfriend, Amanda.
We all said hello. Samantha and I were very embarrassed at the sight of Billy the security guard. He was big and menacing looking, but he was really nice when he talked to us. Then Oliver's supervisor came up to us and we talked to him for a bit as well, but he didn't really look tidy or anything. Very plain and without a suit. We hung out there for a few minutes and then went back home. I could tell from the look on Samantha's face that she wasn't very excited about our trip. After we got home, Samantha began to express her doubts about Oliver's work.
It's weird. It's like it's all played out. We only talked to the security guard and Oliver's weird boss. No one else paid any attention to him, and he didn't tell us much about his job either.
So what are you saying? That Oliver's making it up again. That can't be true. Look, we've seen the warehouse. We've talked to the employees. What more do you need for him to start showing us how he works there? And how can he pull this off if you think he cheated us?
How? Just bribe the security guard and the guy who's supposed to be the boss.
And why would he do that?
I don't know. Maybe it's convenient for him. Maybe he's a gigolo. I mean, think about it. He lives with us. He's always asking you for money for the apartment. He gives you money for food once in a while. He's just comfortable with you. That's all. It makes it all the weirder. It's like a romantic fairy tale. He went to your salon and then he decided to talk to you. And then not long after that, he's living with us.
Samantha, you've just been watching too many soap operas, and you're making stuff up. Just 2 weeks later, Samantha and I decided to go to an expensive restaurant to celebrate her birthday. We didn't have any money, but Samantha's parents had given her a lot of money, and she decided to take me and Oliver to a nice place. But she didn't say which one. I warned Oliver about it, and he would have gone with us. But at the last minute, he informed us that he urgently needed to fill in for someone at work. Samantha was upset that it would just be the two of us at the restaurant, but quickly calmed down when she realized she would be able to save money on Oliver. Samantha and I drove to the restaurant. She had already made reservations in advance, and we were having a good time, chatting about everything. Just like before, when I wasn't in a relationship yet. And then, at one point, Samantha asks me to turn around. I did not understand why, because in a restaurant, you should not usually stare at other people. Somehow, it is not decent. She still insisted and ended up turning my head back herself. Guess who I saw there? Of course it wasn't the red carpet star. There was Oliver sitting there in a decent suit with a watch, wearing expensive shoes and drinking coffee with some very rich and pretty woman. I wanted to fall to the ground. I had no words. I wanted to go up to him and make a scandal. But I decided not to humiliate myself and just get on with the evening and then have a showdown at home. It was Samantha's birthday, and I didn't want to ruin it for her.
I told you he's a con man and a gigolo. He's just taking advantage of women. Any woman who rents a suit like that, he's gonna make a good buck off a woman like that. And he's just taking advantage of you. He's comfortable. We feed him and do all the housework, and he's always overworked at his job. Amanda, you need to leave him now. He's a weirdo. You don't want him.
You're right, Samantha. After we got back from the restaurant, I packed up Oliver's things and put him out the door. Then I texted him on social media, not the right place for a date this evening. We're breaking up. I packed up my stuff and kicked him out the door. I'm done lying. He read my message, tried to reply, but I blocked him everywhere. I will not tolerate betrayal. That was the end of it. The next day, I got ready and went to work early. I was a wreck, so I decided to load myself up with work, clean up the salon, put everything in its place. And as I got to the salon, I saw Oliver getting out of the very car Samantha had photographed with a huge bouquet of roses and a ring. I didn't understand what was going on. I had no idea why that was. Oliver apologized to me and told me everything. It turns out that Oliver is from a wealthy family and he has his own firm, which is exactly what the warehouse is. That's why the employees were reluctant to talk to him, because they were afraid of him. He said he had all kinds of relationships, but they were all about money, and girls stopped appreciating him. So it was by chance that he came to our salon to try to find an ordinary girl and try to find an ordinary guy without money or connections. And it was by chance that he came to me. And he really liked me. He studied me for a long time, so he took his time talking to me. And now, when he realized that he was playing at being just a guy, and that was the reason for many fights. Because of his lies, he realized that it was time to reveal all the cards. He loved me a lot, and he wasn't ready to end up like that. And that woman at the restaurant was his sister, who told him the news that she was having a baby. She had asked to see him very much, to make him happy that he would soon be an uncle and possibly the godfather of a sweet little girl. After hearing all of this, I suggested that we try to start our relationship all over again, and this time without any lies or reticence. He agreed, gave me a ring and flowers, and I asked for a day off from work, and we went to meet his relatives and his real home. To this day, I still work as a hairdresser, only professionally. We got married a year later, and now we have 2 little babies, Lily and Louise.